What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Every Horror Film. Thank you for joining us yet again. If you've made it through all the reviews of the Halloween franchise, kudos to you, man. I appreciate you sticking with us through this journey. Wanted to do this special little video to talk about our expectations going into Halloween ends, and you probably noticed something's a little off here with my co-host here. I'm joined today by Michael Myers. Um, I'm here to ask, I just got to ask straight up, Michael, what's the deal with Halloween Kills? What were you thinking? Well said. Well said. Always a man of good words. Well, that's going to be about it for today. Like and subscribe. Thanks, guys. I had to see that. That's beautiful, man.
I like it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Every Horror Film, where Michael Myers just ended.
Yeah, he did.
I got this suit from Tractor Supply. It's like a tractor like farming store, and they had one near my mom's house. And I was like, you know what? I could pay the same price for one of these and I can for like a cheap one at the Halloween store.
Costume. Yeah.
Exactly. So I just went ahead and got it. So I'm gonna rig it up for Halloween, put some bullet holes and do all kinds of stuff to it. So it's gonna be cool.
Dude, it looks legit. I was gonna tell you, man, it looks like it's part of a costume set, but you're telling me that's just a random.
Yeah, no, this is like legit. Like you could wear this if you're like going to work.
Amazing.
Yeah, like a real mechanic.
Real mechanic.
Real mechanic. And then I'm gonna take like some black mesh and put like black around the eyes. It's gonna look cool.
Yeah.
The way you can't see
underneath. Yeah.
It'll be good. But here we are. A little bit of a different video here. We're gonna do some previews and predictions for Halloween Ends. Tell you what, man, the excitement is building. It's finally hitting me, like I think today. Like I didn't think until today, whenever it premiered in some other countries and it premiered for a couple critics, that I really started to get hype. And tell you what, man, I'm excited. I don't care if this movie sucks or not. Right now, I'm excited.
Yeah, man. The hype train has officially landed in this station. I think I was like you, man, where I was dodging trailers and TV spots and things you missed in this trailer. I was dodging all those videos, man. I want to go into it as blind as possible. I don't want to know the story before I get into it. I don't know what you know, but here's what I know, and it's only because it was in the trailer. This movie takes place 4 years after Halloween Kills, not
Correct.
the same night.
Yep, 4 years.
So we're up to Halloween 2022, I guess, and that leaves me scratching my head. I mean, after Halloween Kills and he killed Karen, and it kind of just cut to black. 4 years. Wait, it seems like a gap there, huh?
Yeah, there's definitely a gap. And I'm in the same boat as you. I watched the first trailer that came out and that was it. I didn't watch any more trailers because even if it's not even just Halloween, but movies in general, every movie just trailers just show almost everything nowadays. And it's like, even for the Batman, there was a bunch of trailers. I watched the first trailer and I was like, that's all I need. I don't need to see anything else because I don't want to ruin it for me.
Yeah, man, you're taking a huge gamble by watching all the trailers of a movie nowadays. We said it with the Black Phone review, like when a movie is so dialogue and story driven and there's not a lot of action shots, you really have little to pick from that doesn't allow you to piece out the entire plot from a trailer. So I'm interested to see how Halloween Ends falls on that spectrum. I want to think that there's a lot that they haven't revealed in the trailer. That's what I hope for, because I'm seeing a lot of the same shots between any trailer and TV spot that we see. So I feel like they're hiding stuff from us until the big reveal.
There definitely is. And at this point in the review, I'm just going to clarify this and put this out there. What I am going to say now is not, I have not looked up any spoilers. I have no idea what's going on. I am just I have looked at a bunch of spoiler-free reviews, so I have no idea what's going to happen. I just have a general idea of what people have thought. And what I've seen so far, and again, if you don't want to hear this, it's vague, but if you don't want to hear it, click off the video. I've heard that this thing is like, people say like, oh no, this movie's divisive, like it's gonna make the fan, like, no. I am hearing, and I feel like I know this for certain, that this movie is going to go in an area that is either going to really piss you off, or you're going to be like, holy shit, this is incredible. Like, they, whatever they do in this movie, they go there. That is what I have heard and what I've seen so far.
Hmm. You know, the term divisive for, reviewing a movie before it comes out, it builds a lot of anticipation. But I think, we've just been so, you know, let down that it tends to lean us towards a pessimistic route. And we tend to think, oh, great, I'm going to hate it because I'm a fan. I don't want to think that. I really don't.
Yeah.
I want to believe it kills. If it's even a fraction as good as 2018, I'm happy, right? So, and like you said, everything that we're about to say in this video, we got no inside knowledge. We didn't see an early screening. We didn't see spoilers. We got nothing. So if something that we say in this video ends up being true, this is just theories
This
from
is just a
hardcore
prediction.
fans. Yeah, we're not spoiling anything because we don't know.
Yeah. So we'll talk about what we do know, and what we're going to say has been released to the public. I mean, this has been out since the first trailer came out, so it's nothing that isn't known in the general public. What we do know is, like you said, this is a 4-year time jump, and it seems that Laurie has kind of maybe moved on in a way a little bit, or tried to. And we do know that there is a new character in this film named Corey, who is Allison's new kind of love interest. And he also has a little bit of a dark side. And after that, all I really know is that there's going to be probably a final battle at the end, and one of them is going to die. Both of them are going to die. None of them are going to die. Something's going to happen. There's going to be some sort of final battle at the end of this film, and there will be a conclusion to this trilogy. So that's all I really know from the first trailer and things that I've seen. I don't know if I'm missing anything or if there's anything else you've heard.
Well, there's probably more information missing. Been dodging it, so I wouldn't even know what else is out there to talk about right now. Because here's what I can confidently say. I feel like it has been strongly suggested, and this isn't, and like I said, this isn't a spoiler because this is out there. I just watched a video, I think it was from like ABC or something like that, where Jamie Lee Curtis did a very tearful goodbye to the franchise. And thank you for sticking with us for 44 years, yada, yada, yada. Very nice, very emotional speech. And all I got from that is bye bye, Laurie Strode. Bye bye. That's what I got from that.
I don't think there's any way she just merely makes it through this movie. I think that, yeah, I'm not saying she has to die, but at the same time, I kind of am. I feel like there's nowhere else for her to really go. So yeah, I have no idea, but I agree with what you're saying. She's not going to be in any more Halloween films. She shouldn't be in any more Halloween films. I think, I don't care how much money this movie makes. It's set to break like 50 million at the box office this week, which is great. But no matter what happens, you can't bring her back. It's been done and done again and done again and again and again. So there's nowhere else you can go with her character. It's over.
Yeah, I'm gonna say her survivability chances is about 3.5%, and that's it. Um, like you said, it's been done, man, and I want this to be an event film. I want this to be the end, for real. And I know, this isn't the last time we're gonna see Michael Myers. He's too valuable in IP. He's too iconic a franchise. I know he'll come back. In what form, I don't know. But as far as I'm not even worried about what comes after this. I'm worried about what we're gonna see tomorrow, and what I want to see. Michael storyline, and I want to see one or both of them die.
I think you're definitely going to see one of them die. So yeah, I guess it's that time. We'll get into our predictions. I guess I'll start first. I know you have a theory, so I definitely want to hear what you have to say.
Well, let me set you up like this. Okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna assume that it's 100% guaranteed someone's gonna die, right? Yeah, there's always a chance that neither one of them are gonna die, but let's assume, for the sake of this video, one of them dies or both of them dies. Do you think it's only gonna be one of them? Do you think it's gonna be both of them? And do you want that?
Personally, I think both of them will die. I think it's the only way for it to be satisfying for both parties because look at it from both perspectives. If you have Michael's in Halloween Kills, he won that movie because he ended up, getting his ass kicked, but he ended up coming back and killing everybody. So that he won that movie. And you can say in a way that he also won in 2018, but that kind of leads into Kills. So Laurie won 2018. He won Kills. So to me, it's only right if they both have the same fate and they both end up dying. I think that's a safe way to go about it, but I also think it's the smartest way to go about it because if you have Laurie kill Michael, I mean, you could do that, but she kills Michael, then walks off into the sunset. It's just a little generic to me. And then I think if you have Michael kill her and then he just goes off, like that's not really a final conclusion. So I think both of them have to die in some form of fashion, whether it be real life, supernatural, whatever they end up doing. I don't know.
Yeah, I am fairly confident that Laurie's gonna die. And I want that. That's a nice send off for her. I am also fairly confident that Michael's not going to die. Although I want him to, I really, really want him to. But let's be realistic here. We've seen him die, what, 3 times, 4 times? One of them involved a beheading. So, even if they did kill him on screen in front of the cameras, like an H2O or Halloween 2 at the time, or any other thing, I'm almost not even gonna believe it. It's gonna be like The Boy Who Cried Wolf, man. Like I'm just waiting for the end credit scene where he sits up and opens his eyes or some bullshit. But I want him to die. I want him to be done. I want to feel like it's a permanent, like the threat is gone. Like I
Yeah.
want that closure, especially if the franchise is gonna take a break. I don't know if it is, but I'm gonna assume that it is. Uh, if I want Michael to die, but
Yeah.
I really don't think they'd go that route. I really don't.
You know, I don't think that there's that much like to me if he dies, it's okay because he's going to come back in another form or fashion a few years down the road in a TV show, a new timeline, I mean, a comic book. I mean, whatever it is, he's going to come back. I mean, it's not like this is the end of Michael Myers. Everyone knows that. So I don't
Right.
think they should be afraid or anyone should be afraid to like, oh, I can't believe Michael died. This sucks. Like he died. So what? He's going to come back. It's going to happen. So
He dies like every other movie.
yeah, exactly. There's only, I mean, how many movies does he actually just like live to the next without having some sort of death? I mean, a couple,
Yeah.
but to me, it's okay if he definitively dies because let's just say 5 years later, hey, we're going to reboot Halloween and we're going to start completely fresh. What does that mean? That means Michael Myers is going to be back in a
Right.
new timeline, a new character, and that's okay. It like
Right.
happens all the time. So
We know this franchise is no stranger to undoing everything you've already seen and starting fresh. So obviously they would do that. So leads into my next hypothetical here. Let's say with absolute certainty, for a fact that Michael Myers is going to die on screen tomorrow. And for all intents and purposes, it is permanent. We've seen him get set on fire twice. We've seen him be shot a million times and fall down a well. We've seen him get stabbed with sedatives or something. We've seen him die a couple different ways. We've seen him get his head cut off. Like, I'm never gonna let that go. So let's say like David Gordon Green called you up and said he's gonna die tomorrow. The question isn't if, it's how. How do you think a permanent death with Michael Myers in tomorrow's movie will look? And what would you do if you had the steering wheel in that situation?
There's two answers to that question for me. Number one, and if we're talking just a physical form of death, like they're fighting and she has a way to kill him, to me, you have to go with a head explosion or a full body explosion. I know that sounds like over the top and ridiculous, but you can't just stab him a bunch of times. You can't shoot him a couple times. We've tried the beheading before, which in theory worked, but they retconned it. It worked. Right. You have to go something with the head, or like he has to like fall off like the top of a building and completely explode into pieces. That's the only way. Now, my second way is, I'm not ruling this out because I have a strong feeling this is going to happen. This is my prediction, I guess. There is some sort of supernatural element that is going to be introduced in this film, and he may disintegrate or go off into whatever. So that's my other way of, I don't know how they're going to do that, but that's my other prediction. So if it's physically going to happen, he's going to like have to explode. And then if it's going to happen supernaturally, then his soul will be laid to rest, or he'll be sent to hell, or I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, that's interesting, the supernatural aspect of it. And you're right, there has to be permanent, irreversible body damage in order to, like, you can't exist with no head, man. Like, we know the beheading works, so he's gotta blow up. Like,
he has to.
That's it. Yeah. My idea, if I were given the reins and I had to permanently kill Michael Myers for this franchise, I would still, in the back of my head, keep it to where you could set it up for the next franchise 10 years down the road. And the way I would do that, the way I would kill Michael Myers in this movie tomorrow, and I know it's not going to happen, it is, I would bury him alive in wet cement and let it harden. That's what I would do. I don't want to say cryogenic chamber, because we saw that in Jason X, we saw that in some other stuff. Dude, throw him in some fresh cement, like a pool or something, pour that cement on top of him, trap him in forever, bury him alive. Because honestly, the only reason he's still alive is because someone's keeping him alive. Smith's Grove was keeping him alive for 40 years. So if you take away the aspect of anyone being able to even keep him alive, how exactly do you survive buried alive in cement? That would be the way I would do it, but obviously that's a stretch. I'm just having fun with it.
Yeah.
It'd be the only way. And then you could break him out 10, 15 years later and whatever bullshit explanation you want to do. But that's what I would do.
It's like, we're going into World War III. Well, don't worry, we've got this guy in cement. We can break him up and bring him back.
We'll get 3 jackhammers. I got to get Michael Myers out of there. No, okay. So you brought up an excellent point with the supernatural aspect. So that's going to lead me into my next question here. So in the original story, we know that Laurie is his sister, and his motive was to kill family. They changed it up. They made his motive be this supernatural cult, and he has to do a sacrifice or something like that. They erased that completely. As of 2018 and Halloween Kills, we don't know what his motive is. So let me ask you this. Do you think they are going to tell us finally what is motivating Michael Myers to do this? And yes or no? And if they do you think they should?
I think they will, and I think they should. Because, okay, here's my thing with this franchise and the fans. Okay, there's an extreme. Oh, we all love the first film. Okay, we all love everyone likes the first film. Okay, and guess what? It's there now. It's been there 40 years ago, and it's going to be there for another 40 years. Okay, so we 40 years ago, we all love the original. Okay, people get so mad about explaining Michael's mythology and trying to figure out, and I get it. And in a lot of the films, they did it in a really shitty way. They did. But how far can you take a franchise or a character without giving away some? I mean, you can't just do three, four, a trilogy of movies and he's just a guy that kills. Like it's very repetitive and boring. Yes, we like that, but I think you have to try to go in the realm of explaining the mystery. Because if you explain it in a way that people like, they're going to be like, dude, that was sick. That was cool. Everyone thinks they don't like the reason of Michael being unexplainable unless it was done in a way that was like, dude, this was sick. Like I could see people not liking Rob Zombie's way because it's a very, hey, he was born in a shitty household, bad parents, bad life, he's a serial killer. Like, okay, that's pretty generic. But if it was somehow done in a way where it was explained, maybe not fully, but hinted at what happens, and it's a way that people like in a smart way, then that's okay. Because I don't think you can go through a whole trilogy of films and just not explain what happens, because it's just like, I mean, like it's fine, but you don't take any risks. You don't do anything different. And that's the thing about having this trilogy. It's like, and they've made it very clear they want to do something different. And I'm all for that. I don't want to see another, he gets up from whatever happens to him and he lives on. And there has to be some sort of mythology or something. Even if it sucks, oh, well, you know what? You tried. You got to give me something. You got to give me something.
Right. So I agree with you there. I think they're going to reveal his motive, and I think also that they should. I think if they don't reveal the motive, it's going to feel very empty, and
Yeah.
it's going to be looking back on it. Like imagine like a mom trying to explain to you the old Halloween movies. They would be like, "Oh, it's the one with the cult." Okay, it's the one with the something. That's fine, right? But if they don't give a motive, good or bad, in this movie tomorrow, mom's 20 years the one with the 2018. Like there's nothing lasting in your memory about the trilogy. There's nothing impactful. It's just kills, and it's a good way to kill 6 hours. Like it's not. There's got to be some kind of mythology to it. I don't care what it is at this point. Give me something, because I don't want it to feel empty. I don't want it to feel weightless. I want to think about it. I said last
Yeah.
time, slash movies aren't exactly thinking man films, but I want to think about it, because it's fun. It's the mystery. So I agree. I think they should, and I think they will. Now, let's say with 100% certainty, for a fact they're going to reveal his motivation tomorrow. What do you? First of all, I'm gonna do a two-part question. I'm gonna do the first part first. First part: do you want his motivation to be a supernatural motivation, i.e., occult, demon possession, alignment of the stars, whatever, superpowers, or do you want it to be a worldly motivation, revenge, family, mental breakdown, something realistic that we could see in today's world? Which route would you rather see them go when it comes down to it? Because there's always been the aspect of both, but you got to pick one. Which way are you going, supernatural or worldly?
That's tough because I think that when they started this series, they were like, by the way, Michael's not supernatural. He's a regular guy. After
Yep.
2 movies, there's no way in hell that he's not supernatural. He has to be. Well, I'm okay with that. But I would rather go the route of a more like human and personal look, because they have done the Cult of Thorn. And think about it, supernatural, unless there's something I'm not thinking of that they pull out of this bag that's like amazing. I'm trying to think of what supernatural way they can go that has not been done tirelessly in other, like we no one wants to see the cult thing again. We've already done that.
No.
Yeah, no one wants to see Michael be controlled by like a demon. Like, no, that doesn't work. Alignment of the stars, that's kind of hokey. Like, you've already kind of done the supernatural stuff. I do think they're going to end up going that route. That's my prediction. But I personally would like to see a more like personal, like something like I don't know. I don't know what it is, but just maybe something that they came up with is like this guy really was pissed off about this, like when he was 6 years old. It still pisses him
And
off to this day. I don't know.
yeah, and that's the tricky part about retconning the idea that Lori's his sister, because like I said in the beginning, if Lori's not his sister, what's he doing? What's the motivation? And yeah, we have the twist and stuff we already explained, but it's tough, man. Without a family connection, which there's obviously none that has been even hinted at yet. It's just it's tough. It's real tough. And then my second part of that question, you're given the reins, you're given control. Say, all right, what's been his motivation these last two movies? What is driving him? You can't say cult and you can't say family. Creative freedom. What do you want to see as his motivation tomorrow that makes you go, yeah, that was dope? What would you pick?
He's trying to end global warming.
There you go. That's as good as it could possibly get, because N stands for ending global warming. There you go.
And that's a tough question.
Yeah, it is.
I honestly have no idea. I would have to think about that. Like, I don't want to say something generic. I really have no idea. I will say this, that it was heavily hinted at in the Halloween Kills commentary and by the director and by many people that, if you remember, we didn't talk about it in the Kills review because we were talking other stuff. You remember the radio tower?
The damn radio tower. In the opening sequence of Halloween Kills and about 3 other times in Halloween Kills, they showed this very establishing shot of what is clearly a radio tower in the back. Now, I know that radio tower is not there. So they CGI'd it in, meaning they put it there intentionally. They planted that seed. Why? We don't know. But apparently, this is what you've heard, not what I've heard, because I didn't hear this. You told me about it. Apparently, that radio tower plays a big role in Halloween Ends. What do you think?
What, what if it's the return of Silver Shamrock, Halloween 3?
Honestly, that'd be kind of dope.
That's the only, I honestly, that's the thing. I have no idea how they're going to fit in a radio tower signal unless there's some sort of signal that's possessing Michael to do this stuff, which on paper sounds really stupid. And I hope they don't do that. And maybe it's an oversight. Maybe people like picked up that rumor and ran with it. But I feel like there's going to be some sort of, maybe they have a fight on top of the radio tower. I don't know. I don't know. I really have no idea. It's so hard for me to predict. That's why I was really looking forward to your theory as opposed to think. I have ideas of where I think they're going to go, but I do think it's going to be a supernatural element added to explain things. That's my prediction. It's going to be supernatural. I don't think there's any way they're going to keep it human. I think they should, but I just don't think there's any way. I think it's going to be supernatural at this point. There's no way it's not.
So once you told me that the radio tower is going to come into play for Halloween Ends, it's going to play a big role. Obviously, my mind went 2 places that you just said. One, radio frequency brainwashing. Don't do that. Do not do that. You pull that tomorrow, I'm getting a refund. Don't do that. And 2, the final showdown between Laurie and Michael is going to take place on the radio tower. That makes sense. That makes sense to me. Drop him from a height, do permanent bodily damage, like you said. Maybe they both jump off the tower. I don't know. But I could see the final fight taking place on top of a radio tower. I think that would be the most permanent way to kill anybody. I could see that. Here's my that was my theory about the radio tower up until the last trailer came out.
Ooh.
Do you want me to tell you how that trailer changed my theory about the radio tower?
Yes, I did not watch it, so that's fine. At this point, I don't care.
It's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler because it was in the trailer. They wouldn't put it in there if it was a big reveal. So there's a scene in the trailer where once Michael finally comes back to Haddonfield, he walks past where we're apparently in some sort of radio station, and the DJ is like doing his thing, and Michael walks by the window. And I think in another TV spot, Michael's inside the radio station killing the DJ. So I think now I place money on it. How the radio tower plays a big role in Halloween Ends is that people listening hear the DJ get murdered in the booth, and they all realize at the same time that Michael's doing it. That's what I think now. I'm confident in that theory and why the radio tower plays a big role. It's because that is how the people find out that Michael Myers is back. That's how I. That's the theory I have now.
See, I'm if it's something like just minor like that, I'm okay with it because I don't. There's no way that you can. This radio tower is going to be like the reason why this happens. It just no, it's not going to work. Not going to work for me. So I can see that. I mean, that's a decent way of going about it. So I can get down with that.
Yeah, that's just what I pieced together. Now, so you talk about his motivation. You want it to be worldly, but you think it's going to be otherworldly. You ready to hear my theory on what his motivation is going to be? His big bad motivation.
Let's hear it. Drum roll, please.
Now, I've been sitting on this theory since 2018. Haven't told you about it because I didn't know where Kills was going to go, and then I forgot to bring it up last time. I've had this theory that's been established since I first watched 2018. And my theory, and I believe in it more strongly now after Kills than I did after 2018. My theory is his motivation and what's making him do the killing is his mask. That's my theory. His mask is making him do it. Now, there's two different angles you can go with that. One is the supernatural, Silver Shamrock, Goosebumps, Curse of the Haunted Mask, right? You can do that, but I don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah.
What I think, they're going to allude to it being supernatural, but I think it's going to be a psychological study. And this is what I want as a motivation. If there's a motivation revealed tomorrow, I want it to be this. I want it to be that the mask, when he puts it on, he feels psychologically empowered, concealed, safe, dangerous. I want him. I want it to be revealed that the him putting on the mask, it is his way of showing who he really is. Rob Zombie alluded to this in 2007 when young Michael wouldn't stop wearing the masks. He's like, this is me hiding my face is really me showing my face. I think that's what it is, and I'll tell you why. That's my theory as to his motivation. Because let's just start opening scene, man. Nothing happened to Michael for 40 years. Some podcaster shows up with the mask. Everyone in the courtyard goes nuts. Michael moves. Yup. Michael immediately snaps back.
He does.
So
he does.
That was my very first hint about that. That's why he went to the gas station to get the mask. That's why that really sad score played when he put on the mask. Because he was like, I could finally be myself again, And there's a lot of scenes in 2018 and in Kills where he's without a mask. And if you really think about it, what does he do when he's outside of his mask? He does not kill enough. And if he does kill, it's only because he's trying to get back to the mask, which is the kid in 2018's car, the two podcasters in the gas station, the mechanic. The only kills that he does outside of a mask are because he's trying to get to the mask. Because in Kills, when he was without it and it was in the street, he didn't try to kill Karen. He tried to get the mask, So, and even she was like, "Here, I got your stupid mask," like showing that like she gets the sense that it's important to him. So I think the explanation is, and this is the best explanation that I could possibly receive tomorrow, is that the mask is making him do it. And there can still be the mystery of, is it some kind of supernatural force behind the mask, or is it just he feels hidden so he feels safe? I think that would be very cool. I think that would make Michael Myers' mask be even more iconic. I think it would be a nice study into psychology. I think it would be a nice air of supernatural elements to it. And another thing too that we never talked about in the 2018 and the Kills reviews, they referenced the season of the witch masks in both movies. Now, first time they threw it in the trailer in 2018, it was like, okay, you guys are poking fun at the one-off that doesn't fit. You're poking fun at the black sheep of the family. All right, I get it, right? You keep it in the movie, cool. Halloween Kills, it shows up again, but even more prevalent, right? When I watched Kills, I got annoyed at it because I was like, stop dangling these cameos and Easter eggs in front of my face. But if I think about it in relation to the theory that I just gave you, no, I don't think Silver Shamrock's behind it. That'd be kind of cool, but I don't. I think what they're suggesting subliminally is that the mask has something to do with it. There's something revolving around the masks, and that's just what I've picked up on. It's been very subtle, but I picked up on that from the first time I saw 2018, and it got even harder in my brain in Kills. So my theory is that the mask is making him do it.
I just want to say that even if you're completely wrong, I think that's a very good like prediction and put together of plot points in both previous films. And you're right, because Michael doesn't do anything for 40 years until those people show up with the mask and they taunt him.
Yeah,
Then he's
and
like,
everyone in the courtyard senses it. So you get that supernatural air about it, like they sense that something's wrong. But Michael's having a reaction to it. Like he immediately his mouth starts salivating like a dog that sees food. Like he wants it.
yeah. And then we get the scene where he gets the mask back, and it's very like they play like the emotional kind of music, very like slow build, like it's it means something.
Yeah.
And then in Kills and in Halloween 2018, anytime someone takes the mask off or they mess with it, like he stops what he's doing. You never really see him go on a killing spree without it. Like you said, he
Right.
will kill like here and again, a necessity to get to where he needs to go. But in 2018, or excuse me, in Kills, whenever Lindsay takes off the mask, like he basically has her like choking her to death, and he stops.
Yeah.
And also later on in the film, whenever he gets stabbed in the back by with the pitchfork by Karen, and she takes it off, he goes after her because he easily had Allison right there. He could just be like, "Oh, fuck that mask! I don't need it. Could have killed her." And he
But
goes
his
after
priority
it.
was the mask.
Yeah, he goes after it, and then again, he gets surrounded by the people in the mob. He doesn't need the mask to kill anybody, theoretically, but he has to pick it up and put it on. And then that's what happens. So I think that's a very good point. And what I'm going to say next is going to relate to what I have seen for Halloween Ends regarding like the trailer and the Corey character. So if you don't want to listen to this, tune out. It's not a spoiler, it's just a prediction. This is all stuff that's been pointed out. If you watch the trailers, it has been pointed out clear as day and speculated a lot. So I'm not the first person to say this, that there is a copycat killer in this film. Okay. So there has been speculation that this Corey guy has some kind of connection with Michael. So in the trailers, there are people that have broken down stuff in the trailer like, oh, that doesn't look like Michael's walk. That doesn't look like Michael's hand, because he's got the fingers blown off. In one picture, he has all his fingers. Like, oh, that's not him. Now, it could just be some trickery with the camera. It could be full of shit. I don't know. But there has been a lot of speculation. If you go and look it up on YouTube, people saying trailer breakdown, whatever, that's not Michael. That's someone different. So it could be that you are right, and that maybe this Corey guy like stumbled upon this mask, and then all of a sudden it gains a power over him. So that's very possible too. That's maybe where we're getting the copycat stuff from. So that's a possibility as well.
I've seen I've seen the thumbnails on the YouTube headers that say copycat, and we're talking about not the real Michael. I never clicked on them. I never watched them because I didn't put much stock into it. But at this point, I think they've done everything. Copycat killer would make sense, and it'd be a good it would be a good plot for a Michael movie, but for it to be the end of a trilogy, I'd rather see it somewhere else. I'd rather see it a couple of years from now when they try to start a new franchise, like a new trilogy, and they start off with a copycat homage killer, and Michael comes back to stop him. I'd be okay with that. I I can see it happening. It makes sense. I haven't seen the evidence and the breakdowns for it for the copycat killer, so I can't tell you how confident I am that that's going to happen tomorrow.
Mhm.
But if it does, although I get it, I'm gonna be a little bummed out if they spent the end of the trilogy focusing on someone other than Michael and Rory. I want the focus to be on them. The copycat killer is a great story if you did it in like Halloween 5 or in Resurrection, or if you do it in whatever comes after Halloween ends. But I hope they don't make that the plot of this next one because I just don't see how it could fit in naturally and not feel like you wasted my time.
I have a feeling you're going to be a little disappointed tomorrow then because I don't know this. I don't know anything. I just have a very strong feeling that they are going to make this Corey guy a big part of this movie, a bigger part than people are willing to admit or willing to let happen. I feel like if there's a big swerve, they're gonna throw him in there. I'm not saying he is Michael. He is Michael the whole movie or anything like that, but I do think that he's probably gonna be in there more than people really think. Because what other way would you introduce a third character into a new character into a trilogy just to have him killed off? I mean, it's like, what's the point? I feel like if they bring him in, he's going to have something to do that's a little bit more major than people think.
What if they bring him in and he ends up being Michael's long lost son or something?
He could be
Grandson.
what? He could be what? The kid from Halloween 6, the little baby.
Oh yeah, he could, couldn't he? Oh dear God. Okay.
Steven was his name.
Steve in the bathroom cabinet, baby.
He was raised by Paul Rudd.
Yeah, the Halloween night dumpster baby. Yeah, no.
That's I've also heard this. Have you seen Christine, John Carpenter's Christine?
The old one?
Yeah, about the car, like the killer car or whatever.
Long time ago. I don't remember it.
I've heard a lot of, I think even the director, I think it was the director or someone involved that said it was very Christine like, and I didn't really know how to take that.
Good thing.
I mean, I like Christine, but it's a good movie, but it also has to do with a killer car. I mean, there's a supernatural element to it, but I don't know how it's going to fit in. I mean, I know Michael likes to drive, but I don't think it's like that literal. But
right.
that's what they said. That's what they
maybe
said.
Like that action packed, maybe.
I have no idea. That's just people have been trying to figure that out, and I don't know if people have finally realized it. People that have actually seen the movie, but
we'll have to watch Christina after this to figure that out. But I want to go back to the copycat theory because I haven't watched a single minute of those theory videos. Explain to me some of the evidence that has you convinced that there's a copycat because I haven't watched any of that.
So I've watched very minimal like trailer breakdowns and stuff like that. I like to stay away from it. Some stuff like I like to go on Reddit a lot. I go on the Halloween Reddit, and some stuff is just impossible. Thank goodness I haven't seen any spoilers really.
Yeah.
But some stuff you just can't like unsee. It just happens. So I've seen a lot of people just make posts saying like this is not Michael. There are apparently things in the trailer, like shots that they freeze where they're like examining how many fingers are on the hand, how the way he moves, how the way I think at some point they even speculated that he had like a ring or something on his finger. I don't know. It could be all bullshit, but people have spent the time breaking it down and felt like this is not Michael. Like this, it's not him in this scene. So that's what I've heard. Now I haven't done extensive research on it because I kind of wanted to stay away from it, but that's stuff that I have seen. So I'm just letting you know tomorrow, if we go in this and you see it, you're going to look at me and be like, you bitch, you were right.
I'll tell you what I'll do. If it's revealed that it's a copycat killer or even alluded to, I'm gonna look at you. I'm gonna say, son of a bitch, you were right. You know, um, I if they do that, that'd be cool. It'd be a storyline we haven't examined, but I want it to last no longer than the first act. I want the real Michael to pop out of the sewer and be like, "This is my territory," and fuck him up. I don't
See
want to. I
that
don't want a copycat killer into the third act.
that's another one that's got me really intrigued is the running title for the movie while it was in production was Cave Dweller. So people were like, what is Michael living in a cave? It's being widely speculated. And if you've seen the trailers, which I haven't seen the newer ones, I've only seen the first one, but it's pretty much confirmed that Michael is either living or does something in a sewer at some point. There's a scene in the trailer where Corey looks like he's in a sewer. So I have a feeling they meet up there somehow. I don't know how that happens. I don't know if,
So I'll tell you this much because it's in a trailer, so it's not story specific. In the final trailer, there is a scene in a sewer or cave. I'm pretty sure it's like a deep sewer, like an underground
yeah.
waterway, whatever. The way the trailer's cut, at least, it appears that Corey goes down there investigating like It style, and that's where he stumbles upon Michael hiding in the rocks, and Michael kind of just reawakens and comes out of hibernation. That's
Yeah.
what I got from the trailer. Now trailers are not they're not strangers to cutting things in a way that has you believe one thing when really it's
Correct.
another. Like that sewer scene could be the final battle. We don't know, but the way they cut that trailer, it's very obvious that he's in a sewer. So I'm gonna guess that he was just hibernating down there, but I don't know. But there is, at least in the trailer, a scene where Corey comes face to face with Michael.
Which totally makes sense because all Michael does is like eat rats, and there's like rats all in the sewers. So it works
Yeah.
great for him. Free food.
Yeah, free food, I guess. But yeah, there's a lot. I've dodged a lot, and
Yeah.
I'm glad I did because I wanted to be able to theorize and see how it stood. So we talked about our theories, what we think's going to happen, motivation wise, death wise. If it ends up where there's no motivation revealed, are you going to think the movie's a wash?
I don't think it's a wash, but I will feel like they kind of misled everybody because every report that's come out and everything that's come straight from the director's mouth and the writers is that, hey, we took some risk, we did some stuff different. This is a very like people say Kills are divisive, like people either like Kills or they thought it was fucking horrible because of the dialogue and the stuff. It's not divisive in the way like I can't believe they had Michael do this, that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
They have marketed this movie and said things that are suggesting that something is like crazy is going to happen. So if there is, it doesn't have to be, a mythology, but if they just like don't explain anything and like, a bunch of crazy stuff happens, but Michael's still Michael, like I would be shocked. I really would be. I feel like they have to do something to give some sort of
Closure.
credence or closure. Something has to happen in terms of him, being, what makes him do what he does.
Yeah, I need some kind of trilogy-sized reveal at the end of this. I need some like, oh, that Michael's not the real Michael. Like that's a movie-sized reveal. I need a trilogy-sized reveal in this movie to feel like I actually, you know, closed off the trilogy the right way. Because if you don't reveal anything that has any kind of gravity over the other two movies, then what are you doing, man? You're just making an anthology series. So do something that's going to change my perspective on Halloween Kills. Do something that's going to tie in nicely with 2018 and the original, of course. Give me something. Give me something crazy to take back home and discuss at length and rewatch the movies and look for clues over. Give me something. I don't care if you don't go with my mask theory about the mask makes him do it. Do anything that makes me want to go back and dissect everything again. Do the supernatural element. Make him Do Michael Goes to Hell, that clearly works so well with Jason, do something, but uh, make me feel like I hit the finish line. That's my biggest hope for this movie. Yeah, obviously I want it to be good, but I want to feel like I can walk away with this and my mind is blown and the whole trilogy is different to me now. That's what I really want.
Yeah, I agree. Like if we end up leaving tomorrow and then it's like at the end of the movie you just hear Michael breathing, I'm like, I'm gonna burn down the cinema.
They're gonna do that. They're gonna do that. They're gonna end with Michael breathing after the credits.
They just cannot help themselves. Yeah, it's gonna be nuts.
So let me ask you this as we wrap it up. Let's do it. Let's do a little bingo card run here.
All right.
Give me 3 things you expect to see in the movie tomorrow. Small things. I'm not talking big reveal motivation thing. I'm talking about small things you expect to see in the movie tomorrow. I'll give you mine first. I expect. Oh wait, no. There's a question I forgot to ask you. Do you think, and do you think he should? Do you think Michael Myers is going to speak in this movie?
No, I don't. I think that's it's been done and no one liked it. And it's one thing to say like there were people that liked Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2. That's fine. But you can't tell me that one single person liked the fact that Michael talked and then the fact that the one word he said was die. I've never ran across one person that has liked that.
Well, that movie's garbage anyways, but
I know, but even if you like that movie, no one liked him speaking. You cannot have him talk. No, you can't. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's such an easy way to like have him reveal something as he talks. No, you can't do that.
I'll tell you what. This is where we disagree here because I think Michael Myers should talk in this movie. Ooh. I really do think so, and I'll tell you what I think. Even if you don't go the mask makes him do it route, and I get nothing. I don't get any big trilogy reveals or nothing. There's one thing he can say in this movie that would make me sleep easy tomorrow night. You want to take a guess what that one thing is?
Evil dies tonight.
If he says that, I swear to God.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I would laugh. I would laugh so hard.
Dude, I would die. That'd be so funny if he said that. No. Yeah, dude. Oh man. Okay.
God, I hope that happens. That'd be the
best. This is another thing that was hinted at in 2018 to make me feel like they were leading up to it, where Dr. Sartain was obsessed with the idea that he was trying to get him to say something. And he was like, he spoke, what'd he say? And then in Sartain's last breath, he was like, say something. Like, and he had a theory like, was it Judith? Was it the name of the sister? Like, so obviously I feel like Michael saying something would have a huge weight to it. Here's my idea. If Michael speaks, I want him to say one thing, and I want him to say it to Laurie at the end, the final battle. Let's say they're up on the radio tower fighting or whatever. If Michael looks at Laurie and says, I'm sorry, this movie's going to get an A from me. And I swear to you right now, this movie's going to get an A from me if he says that.
Wow.
That's my personal preference. If I was writing this movie, if Michael said, I'm sorry to Laurie, this movie would get an A from me. There's nothing else he could say that would have any kind of weight to it. If he said that, I would the entire saga. Because I'm like, okay, what's he sorry about? Is he sorry that he had to do this? Is he sorry that he started this? Is he sorry that he couldn't control himself? Is he sorry that he did it to Laurie specifically? I was thinking about that last night, man. I was like, dude, if he looks at Laurie and says, I'm sorry, I'm giving this movie an A for sure. So now obviously I'm getting way too deep in the weeds here. There's probably a 10% chance that he even says anything. But if he says something, the only thing I would ever want him to say is I'm sorry to Laurie, because I think that would be super, super emotional. But that's just me. I know I'm in the minority with that, but I just had to throw that out there before we saw it, because my brain's running 100 miles a minute, like coming up with these ideas of what I really want. And once I see it tomorrow, all those things will be washed away. So I just had to get that out there.
I can't wait for us to see this tomorrow, then go back and watch the video and be like, what the fuck were we talking about?
It'd be like, what were you smoking? This movie sucks. You know, like, no, I don't think the movie's gonna suck.
I'm not like 100% against him talking. I don't think it's a good idea, but if he says I'm sorry, whew, man, there's gonna be some
hell to
I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. So that definitely would be interesting. I would think, other than him speaking and saying evil dies tonight, I think I would love for them just to be like, at the very end, he's like, hey, by the way, we actually are related.
I'd be even more pissed if he said that instead of evil dies tonight. I'd be so pissed, dude.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
We actually are related.
Dude, no, don't do that.
They can't do that. There's no way.
The idea of him speaking is very taboo, just like him showing his face. But dude, I'm gonna go back to one of my favorite trilogies of all time, the Planet of the Apes trilogy. In the first movie, when Caesar the monkey, I'm not gonna get too far into this, but when Caesar the monkey gets so smart that he can actually form words now, and his first word out of his mouth is no. And the whole dude, I remember when I saw it in the theaters, the whole theater shut down. Like everyone was like, what? Like you can have a non-speaking character say something that has such an impact that it makes it memorable forever. I still watch that movie multiple times a year, mostly because of that moment. It was such a good impact, man. And I think you have an opportunity to do that with Michael Myers, where if you make him say the right thing, you will create an absolute milestone in this legacy of a franchise. So I do want him to speak tomorrow. I don't want him to say a full sentence or anything like that. I'm sorry is what I think he should say, but I want him to say something. I do.
I wouldn't hate that idea. I guess let me rephrase. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it should happen. But if it does and it's done in a good way, like I'm okay with it, because like I said, I'm okay with them just doing something completely new and different, because it's not going to be fun or interesting for them to just play it safe and do nothing. So if they do something crazy and it's horrible, like, yes, it's going to suck. It's going to be disappointing, but at least they tried to do something. I can give you something for that. So if he does end up talking and it works well, like, I am okay with that. I'm not opposed to it. I'm not.
Yeah. So just my thoughts. I want to wrap this up with a nice little round of bingo. Small things that I expect to see in the movie. I'll give you a couple. I expect that Hawkins is going to be a love interest for Laurie. That's my guess. Not crazy detrimental, but I would place money on that Hawkins is a love interest for Laurie. I would also place money on the fact that Hawkins dies. I think that's a very strong possibility. I don't want to put money on the copycat killer theory, but I do want to put money on the idea that they do the deleted scene from 2018 that you talked about, the deleted ending where Michael falls or whatever, and he's breathing, then his breathing stops. I think if Michael dies, I think that's exactly how they're going to do it. They're going to have to stop breathing. So I'd place money on that. Those are three things that I'd place money on. Small things, but I'm pretty confident I can say that those are going to happen tomorrow.
For me, I think, because they've mentioned it, but they have not done it yet, we will see a unmasked official Ben Tramer in this movie.
You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind.
We are going to see Ben. They mentioned him in Halloween Kills. He's alive in this timeline.
They did.
In the first movie, obviously she mentions him. She has a crush on him. Okay. I don't know if they said anything about him in Halloween 2018, but in Kills, when they're in the bed, laying there in the hospital, Hawkins like, yeah, no, you had a thing for Ben Tramer. It doesn't say that he's dead. He's still alive, technically. He could still be alive. And I think
Wow.
even if it's a minor thing, I think you have to do the fans a service and you have to be like, hey, that's Ben Tramer, right?
I didn't even think about that, but you know what? How much they're dangling legacy characters in front of us. You know what? You're right. You're probably safe putting money on
I think it would be bullshit if they went a whole trilogy where in the timeline
that.
he's still alive and they don't show him because come on, man, like give Ben Tramer some love.
That makes sense.
My second prediction is that we will see something that we will not agree with in terms of Michael's mythology. I think we want it, but I think once we see it, we're going to be like, oh shit, I didn't like that. I didn't like
Like
it.
a motivation?
Like a motivation or a mythology. I don't know. I feel like there's something about Michael in this film that we are just not going to like.
Where they're
That's
going to
my
change something about his
they're going to
character?
change something. They're going to do something. I'm not talking about him just dying, maybe the way he dies, but there is going to be something about Michael in this film where you're going to be like, I did not like Michael in this movie. That's my prediction. I don't know why, but I hope I'm wrong, but that's my prediction. So Ben Tramer, it's going to be something it's going to be one of the least like Michaels we're going to have in the movie. And then 3, I think at the end of the day that we will walk out more positive than negative of this movie. I think that listen, I wouldn't even hate Halloween Kills that much if the dialogue just wasn't so horrible. It would be a fine movie. So I know it's not things we're gonna like see like physically see in the movie, but I think walking away from this movie, we're gonna be like, you know what, we may have may not liked it, but for the most part, they did something different, and you know what, I'm cool with it. I feel like we're going, no matter what it is, how crazy it is, I feel like we're going to be okay with it.
Yeah, I know we both desperately want it to be the perfect ending. Um, I don't think it's going to be perfect. I don't think it's even going to be B plus like 2018 was. Um, uh, my gut though, my gut instinct is telling me that it's going to be better than Kills. I don't know why.
Absolutely.
I don't know if it's because I'm ignorant and I've been avoiding trailers and stuff like that. My gut is telling me it's going to be the second best in the trilogy. Obviously, I want it to be the best, but my gut's telling me I'm going to like it more than Kills. I think, like I said, if I walk out of this and I don't like this movie, the trilogy's a wash for me, man, and it's got to get locked away. But
See, that's going to be tough because everyone, for the most part, everybody likes 2018. It's solid. Kills not so much. Some people like it, they do, but man, if they do a swing and a miss with 2 in a row, that's gonna be tough. But at the end of the day, even if they do miss, it's gonna make so much money that they're gonna be like, somebody's gonna pick it up.
dude, it's Michael Myers. This is not the last Michael Myers movie that will ever exist. I promise you that. Well, I'm eager to see what comes true. I'm not going to let my expectations and my theories um, ruin my viewing because it didn't come true. I'm not going to let that happen.
All
I'd
right,
be very
so
happy if
now
they do happen.
I've got one question for you, just to kind of summarize everything. What is your official general prediction on what is going to happen in this movie and how it's going to end?
My prediction, my big, big, big prediction, the takeaway prediction is going to be that Laurie sacrifices herself to kill Michael. She either succeeds or she fails. Before that happens, Michael speaks, and I think we're going to get some permanent closure in some way or another that Michael's no longer around in Haddonfield, at least at the time of the end of this movie. That's my takeaway. I can say wholeheartedly, I think Laurie's going to die. I think it's going to be a sacrifice play, and maybe she'll kill Michael doing it. Maybe it'll turn out that she didn't. Um, I do think Michael's going to say something. I think we're going to learn his motivation. I hope it's the mask doing it, but I'll take any explanation at this point. So yeah, my big takeaway is that Laurie sacrificed herself to kill Michael, and the question mark is if she succeeded. That's my takeaway. That's my expectation.
For me, there is going to be some sort of supernatural element into this film. I think this Corey character is going to play a bigger part in this movie than people are thinking. I think that's probably going to piss a lot of people off. And I feel like I'm telling you, I just have this feeling that there is going to be something about Michael in this movie that just makes us like not like this rendition of this character. Maybe the way they wrote him, that maybe the stuff they make him do. I don't know. I just have this feeling. But at the end of that, I think that they both die. I think they're going all out. So I feel like, they have to do maybe something that's somewhat safe to make people happy. So I think they will both end up dying at the end. And I can't wait to watch this tomorrow and see how wrong I am.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like we're throwing all these things out that would work because we're longtime Halloween fans, as we've proven, and they're not even gonna take that into account. So yeah, I'm eager, man. I'm nervous, but I'm hopeful, you know. Let's
Yeah.
do it. Show me what we got.
It's funny because in 2018, like I was just pure nostalgia and like you just watch it, like look at that, like this is cool. I love this
Uh,
movie. And then with Kills, like you're so pumped up, and then at least for us anyway, we get in the theater and we're like, what the hell did I just watch? This was
yeah,
horrible.
we were pumped. We were pumped up going into it,
We
and then the
were.
reaction right off the bat was so strong. So I'm not gonna let myself get that pumped up.
It's too late.
Because I've been betrayed, but yeah, it is too late. I'm hopeful. My gut's telling me it's gonna be good. I just hope this time tomorrow we're saying the same thing that it was.
Yeah. So we will jump on here tomorrow. We're going to see the film at 6, probably do some around 9 by the time we get home. We will do an initial reaction, non-spoiler, just a reaction. I'm just going to be like, man, they do something in this movie that is the best, or they do something in this movie that I cannot stand. We won't give away anything, and then over the weekend we'll watch it on Peacock and stuff like that and get a good taste of it, and then we will do a full-on spoiler in-depth review, I think.
That's right. That's right. This is the last time you're going to see us without Halloween Ends being in our memory forever. So it's been a fun ride. It's been fun reviewing everything up until this point. My mind is blank. I have no idea what Ends has in store for me. I hope a year from now, or even a week from now, I can look back on this video and the other videos and be like, you knew so little. You had no idea. I
It'd
feel
be
like I'm going
funny
to do
if
that.
it'd be funny if we were like right on a lot of stuff.
And you know what? We've done our homework. I think we're going to be right on at least 2 things.
Something
So
has to be right that I just
it's something. It's something. Yeah, and it's probably going to end up being Ben Tramer and nothing else.
said. I
So
would I
no.
would die if they pulled a resurrection and Lori dies like instantly in the first 10 minutes, and they're like,
Oh,
ha. That's not gonna happen, but I just there's
it
too
could.
much in the trailer for her not to have made it.
Yeah. So we'll see. This time tomorrow, we will have the knowledge. We will be blessed with the closure of this trilogy, and it's been a fun and difficult ride all at the same time. And I'm nervous, man. And I'm gonna watch it once tomorrow. Then the next day, I'm gonna watch it on Peacock again. And I got my fingers crossed. I've been betrayed, but I'm not gonna let that get me down.
Nope. I've got my hopes up before and been let down many times. So what would be another time? Oh well.
Yeah, right. It's just Halloween, right?
Everyone's in what are we gonna do? Cancel Halloween?
Yeah, right.
You know what? I will say this real quick. I hope that the sheriff has some sort of arc, or he just dies in this movie, because I can't do another film where he just shows up and just like says does nothing, and then nothing happens. He just goes away.
Yeah.
He better do something cool, or he better die.
You cannot be the only guy in a cowboy hat and do nothing. You can't.
You can't be. Maybe he sacrifices himself. I don't know, something. But thank you for watching Every Horror Film. Horror is forever. We will see you on the other side with Halloween Ends reaction. Thank you.
The mummy has now been located.
The living mummy. The living mummy.
Bullets won't stop.
Some creature out of time.
It was horrible. It was horrible.
He's completely out of control.
I saw those bodies.
Is he a man or a monster?
You actually knew a werewolf in a peaceful town where nothing ever happened.
It was horrible. It was horrible.
In the mystical regions of Transylvania.